Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Repo Rethink Politics, where the team gets around and talk about the current events and the way the world is falling apart. And I got my two co-hosts here, starting with Chaz. What up, dude?
What's up, man? I've been traveling, and first of all, in terms of just how politics impacts the community, how come I was in like middle New Jersey last week? And goddamn, that's all I got to say.
So I got something to tie in with that. So talking about travel, but speaking of travel, it's our man Easy Does It. What's going on, dude?
Yo, I feel like we haven't done this in a minute.
Yo,
a lot of stuff going on right now.
So I find that interesting because I was in Charlotte and I was talking with some friends up there, and I realized that I was in the Bible Belt. I was still in the Bible Belt.
It's so annoying.
But check it. So you was in Jersey and I was in Carolina. So we're more progressive we're more progressive in like Atlanta, and you said you was in the New York, the metro area from that. So let me start with mine. So being in that portion, the conversation was broached with, Beto is a really intelligent guy. Nah, I don't like him.
Wait, who?
Beto. No, not Beto. I'm sorry. Pete Buttigieg.
The mayor.
Yeah. So they was, I don't like him. I was like, okay. Tell me why. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. About what? I don't know. Wait a minute. You don't know? Well, I just don't like him. So my wife was like, is it because he's gay? Well, people that are gay and trying to push I was like, oh my God, I'm in Carolina. That's what it is. What the fuck?
He's gay, so
he's gay, so he's not qualified, and he's wrong. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. And so I tried talking policy, but you couldn't get through that.
Nah.
It didn't freaking matter.
Well, which direction is that? Is that someone that's saying, like, a Democrat is like, they're not going to win, so I'm not listening to them? Or
no, it's not even it's a Democrat that says, part of my religion says, those gays go to jail. But I really like the black lady. That's like... So,
no name.
So yeah, the black lady. What's her name again? Oh, so you saw a black face and you was good with it. Damn.
Call her that old niglet.
Yeah, that.
It's like damn.
Yeah, you know. So that was like really interesting, and then I realized no matter where you go, you may think people are progressive in their thinking because of the Obama, and you see lots of other people. But they stay with their own religious views and stereotypes and disregard people in general. I just said, I'm not voting for him because he doesn't know how to handle black people. If he knew how to handle black people, I think he's one of the most intelligent guys that's out there that really can hold his own. But if you can't deal with black people ain't going to vote for you. And he still hasn't settled that what he done from that.
Yeah, my rebuttal would be, like, if I was in that conversation, I'd say, well, maybe, he may not win. Maybe he'd be a great, secretary or be some part of the cabinet. You know what I mean? Not like he's wrong. But it doesn't make any sense.
But, with religion, he's supposed to burn in hell. So doesn't matter if he's a treasury or anywhere else. He's going to burn in hell. So what are you talking about?
Why is it that they're going to burn in hell, but officers who shoot unarmed people, don't worry about that, or bankers, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? It's very arbitrary.
But the Bible doesn't have police officers in it.
Yeah, he's supposed to interpret.
Well, again,
you got murder and rape and assault.
All of that is in there, but it's almost blatantly, if it's not written, because I can't go to it and say that right there. Well, we'll pray for them. My God,
No.
Excuse the pun.
My God.
My God. So Chaz, you in Jersey, you in that New York sector.
Yeah, so
what was that?
it was a
Yeah.
project, and it was like you know middle Jersey. I don't even know. It was about 40 minutes south of Newark,
Mm-hmm.
and that was
Mm.
my first time being in Jersey. And
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, I can't turn. We couldn't turn left, and I was like,
Nope.
Yeah,
Sure
what a
can't.
terrible state. Like
man.
what an awful state. And then you can't pump gas.
Nope.
I was like, damn. And then the people, it was just like But again, it was
Wait, what's
like
wrong with the people?
it was
Damn. Sensitive
My
much?
bad. My bad. My bad. Let me.
so I'm not talking about Newark. I'm
Right,
talking
right, right.
about. Have you been to Middle Jersey? Like that's different. That's like a different kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely
Yeah.
it is.
So
Definitely.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like I had to kind of like, oh okay. So the people, it was like a project work thing. So the people at work that
Mm.
was fine, but just kind of like walking around, be out and about, like long hair, just a lot of mustaches, a lot of body hair. It's like, all right, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? you know, bodies, not many good bodies.
I know. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
like
is
a
that
Jersey.
what I'm
There's like
saying?
a Jersey Shore kind of like
We
you know
were
how they
we were
say you
by
got
the
a
Jersey Shore,
kit, a Jersey
but
kit. Yeah. You
but
got
the
like
not glamorous one. Yeah,
No,
there's
no,
right.
no glamour at
no
all.
hair gel, no
Yeah.
hair gel. So, what was funny, I guess the thing was we had my flight was grounded, so it was kind of like not grounded, I guess canceled, grounded, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing out of there until Saturday. So this is like a Thursday night. So like, all right, I gotta figure out Friday,
Mm.
Saturday, and then I'm like, well, I look on my map, all the hotels were booked near Newark, near the airport. And I'm like, I don't want to stay in a hotel in Jersey City. So I just took my ass to Manhattan. So I'm kind of like,
You got
it was
money
just,
like that? Yeah.
No.
no, well,
You hear
not,
that?
I could expect, it's just, it's a work thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, wow, damn. All right.
Gonna gloss over
You
that.
got
I
a,
mean,
you got a high limit on that bitch,
I
right?
think I'm just gonna go to Times Square, maybe. I don't know.
I did. I was.
Stay at the Waldorf,
So,
bitch.
I was, yeah. I actually I took pictures by the World Trade and everything,
Uh-huh.
but I was like, why? It was just such a big difference between, like that. It was just interesting to see. No matter how close you are to
Mm.
a different environment, it still can have no impact on you as a person. And because I was like, what's the culture of like the Jersey Shore? Or what influences their politics, their thinking?
Mm.
Do they support Trump? And I just thought that was a very interesting dynamic compared to you got New York City, you know, right there. So what I'm saying? It was just interesting
Well,
dynamic in that regard.
I mean, I could probably answer some of that, because I live in East Rutherford, about 15, 20 minutes from the city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's blue out here. It's just a different kind of blue. It's mostly white, but
But it's a blue though.
they don't really fuck with Trump. Like it's just, like they may have voted for George Bush like a decade ago. You know what I mean? But they're the same people that come to their senses and like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is embarrassing. So they vote for Obama, and then they just vote to get Trump out. That's the kind of, at least that's where I live. You know what I mean? That's kind of where it's at in northern Jersey. So I don't know. There's something about Jersey and where you were probably at is the people are like, I feel like they're sensible, rational people up here. I know they're kind of feisty a little bit, because that's just how it works up here. But
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it's much different than what Mike you were saying in Charlotte and Carolina. Those conversations are totally different because
Absolutely.
up here they dive right into it. It's just like they go right in and be like, man, Trump ain't shit. That like up here. But then if you go, I'm just guessing. Y'all can answer. If you go
Mm.
down in the South, nobody dives right into that kind of thing. It's kind of like they
It's very
dance around the
sensitive.
politics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's they dance around. It's a
hmm
sensitive subject. It's almost like
And
religion, children, and politics.
and
yeah.
Mike, one like for this project, I've been traveling to. I traveled to Texas twice in the
Ooh.
last month, and no, but it's in Houston, so Houston
Okay.
is
Okay.
unique compared to
Yeah. Yeah.
some
Most of
relatively.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very blue.
So
Yeah.
it's been like what I've missed, what I not missed, but what I've like noticed was as a black person, it's not as I don't it's not as a thing because in Houston anyway, there's just so much diversity. Whereas in Atlanta, we're still is it's because Texas is South, but it's not like slave South in terms of it's not the same history. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Does that make
slave
sense?
South, right? No, I got you. Like the
So you know,
Mississippi and the Alabama South.
yeah.
I
so
got you.
it's so
Louisiana,
it's so it's
Arkansas.
so when you're talking about these things of like these conversations with people or just relating to people, it's like, hey, my relation to someone black is different in Texas because in Texas it's like you have so many Latinos.
Hmm.
It's really like white and Latino and then everyone else versus white and black. And then
Right.
the history is you're literally coming from that. So I felt that was very interesting and
But
it was really refreshing, especially to be in Jersey, New York, not
yeah.
just to be like it's different. So people are so, I guess people never, I won't say never, but I feel like it can be hard for people to rise above where where they grow up, and that's kind of what I was getting at in the last conversation of if you grow up to a certain place, does that define you, or can you not? What's what's your own identity versus nature versus nurture? You know what I'm saying?
Right. But
Yeah.
if you move out of that sector of where you are, then what you're gonna feel or what you're gonna experience will change your worldview.
I
But if
think
you
it should.
no, it normally does. I don't want to say it absolutely does, because I've seen people who were so afraid of where they went, they ran back to the comfort of what they were
Yeah.
used to.
All right, but Mike, let me. This is a very quick question, but
Hmm.
so how just in your reflection over the years, describe who were you before military service and afterwards?
Before service, don't fuck around with white people because they'll kill you. They all racist. Power to the black man, black power, black power. Military, wow, there's some good white people here. They're helping me more than my own. Oh, wow, there's an Asian guy. Hey, there's more Puerto Ricans that I normally deal with. No, they're not actually Puerto Rican. They're Mexicans. How did they get in the military? And as it progressed on, I realized there's different people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to take people as they came, as opposed to just outright, I'm black, so stay with your kind. It started from that point, and then kind of moved on to say, people are people, take them as they come. And for the last, I say, 20 some odd years, that's how I take people from that. But again, I'm just exposed to so many different people in, different states, different countries, and living there as opposed to visiting. There's a difference when you visit and when you live. Because when you
Yeah.
live, it's kind of like you have to start making adjustments to where you are. Whether it's living in Texas, living in California, living in Okinawa, Japan, living in Alexandria,
Virginia.
no,
Virginia.
Alexandria, Egypt, dude. You
Oh
know,
shit.
that's what, like there, you will see a difference. And when you roll up, and we in the Iraq war, and one of the guys said, let me introduce you to one of my friends. He's from Iraq. And the first thing you cringe, like, oh shit, that's the people we had war with. And they was like, no, not him. The country y'all are, not him. And I was like, damn, that's a weird fucking feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to adjust to these things because people are people, and if they show you respect, you just go from there. So, and that's why I find it interesting, people's politics of either self-preservation or just outright bias. If I'm biased, I don't want people getting privileges because I'm making money and you're taking my money away.
Right.
Especially if it's a false narrative that's being given to you.
Oh, that's happening right now with
No, absolutely.
with the immigrants and the welfare.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's such a mind. Just that's I don't know. That's a crazy situation right there.
So let me ask you with that, because the president, the occupant, as my girl says, the occupant
45.
says that immigrants are getting welfare, they're actually getting food stamps and getting Social Security.
But wait, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
They may be, so people say, but legally they can't. because you have to be a citizen in order to get those types of privileges in order for that to go through. Now, the argument with that is if you got a false Social Security, guess what? If it's legitimate citizen Social Security that you living off, guess what? You can get those. But if not, and you coming in legally, or you coming in and you have a Social Security and you're from outside of the United States, you can't get any of those. And the most people who have Social Security, all these benefits and welfare are whites. And that's the people who he's talking to. And they're so worried about everybody else thinking they're getting it, but it's more white people that haven't. I mean, I think we says this every 5 or 10 goddamn podcasts that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a repeat of the tax cut thing.
Yeah.
Of, oh, yeah, we need to do blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. Now my taxes are higher?
Yeah.
I owe more?
Yep.
And then, it's too late. Now you're fucked. You know what I mean?
So did you see, and let me swing it to you, E. Do you see a swing toward any Democrat that's really speaking in the environment that you're in? Because you got, what's the name? Gillibrand, and who else is coming from New York? Oh, and the stupid ass mayor.
The New York.
Yeah.
I know nobody likes him.
Yeah,
I know that.
yeah.
That's well known. I don't even know why he's even running.
Wait.
But,
because he can.
Corey?
Bill de Blasio.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it him? I thought it was Bloomberg.
No, de Blasio.
No, that's before.
Yeah, damn, man.
It's
You
de Blasio now.
19.
Yeah. So now it's, I forget how many years he's been doing it, but yeah, nobody likes him. That's just well known now. My wife works in the city, and like the minute she found out he was running, it was like, oh my goodness, why is he even doing that? They hate him.
Wait,
that was even before his name was even out there. Like,
wait, which office are we talking about?
He's running for president. Bill de Blasio is the mayor of New York.
But so Bloomberg, he suspended his campaign, right?
No, he never.
I don't think he ran.
He never ran.
He just floated the idea.
Yeah, he put like you know what they do? They put kind of like a research out to see if
okay.
That's all he did.
Why is so? You're telling me de Blasio really? What? Why? After
because
like 4
he can.
years?
Because he can.
Yeah.
And the arrogance of New Yorkers is like that.
Nobody knows what to do but me.
I
Move out
can
the
do
way.
it.
I mean, if you take
some coffee and a bagel.
If you take a step back, there's kind of like a trend with New York mayors. It's like if you could run the city of New York, it's like you feel like you could run a country pretty much.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie though, because New York is such a monster. It's such like there's so many moving pieces. Yeah. It's like you can talk shit to anybody. Like, look at your little bullshit ass city.
Yeah,
we got
not New York.
For your whole little town, we got a
New
whole
York
precinct.
But New York is falling apart. Infrastructure, mass
transit. It's been falling apart for 20 years.
Yeah,
bro,
but
so
it's
Jersey,
at
by the way.
But it's at a point of breaking.
Oh,
that's
okay.
True.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's always been on the verge, but now it's at the point because there's so much that hasn't been updated that things are breaking down and whole lines have to be put offline.
But they tax them so much. Like just to enter the city,
it's going to somebody.
$15.
Yeah, 15. Yep.
Yeah, I remember when it was 7, and I was like, "That shit's too high."
Bruh, I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to commute? I guess you're not.
They got potholes everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like what it used to be. Mike, I know you know back in at least I remember in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
When it was just like rats everywhere and it smelled like piss all the time. And
all the time, yeah.
Crime was a problem. I know it's better now, but it's just like sidewalks. Yeah. I mean, Jersey's worse, by the way.
Oh yeah, and Jersey smelled like piss for years.
Yeah. No, you made the right choice by not going to Jersey City, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
bruh,
good choice.
A little more.
You didn't have to tell me. I was like, man, fuck out of here.
But still in all, so on yours, Chaz, what are you hearing candidate wise? Well, actually, E, you didn't actually answer that.
I didn't answer the question.
Yeah, you went around it and shit.
Well, I mean, I don't have a feel about anything else. Like I don't really hear much about what's her name, Kirsten
Gildebrand, yeah.
Gillibrand. Yeah, I mean, I have my own opinion. I think she's all right. She's solid, but I don't really hear anything about her, which is kind of like more than half of the candidates out there. I don't really hear much.
There's no child.
No. It's just, I mean, it's the usual, names. I hear Beto more than her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. But I don't even think he's really top 7. So I don't know. I mean, when I have a conversation with people about this stuff, it's Bernie, it's Warren, it's the usual Kamala. It's
she's dropping though.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand what's going on with her and Black America, man. The hate is.
Yeah, I know the hate is real, ain't it?
It's real, but I feel like it's a little higher than it needs to be. Like I hear them, you should question it, but I feel like it's like they can't. They hate her.
So I want to relate some of that to the actual debate, but
I jumped.
So no, that's fine. It's and since Chaz don't actually look at it and he looks the Reader's Digest shit or whatever's on Twitter. So there was two different. It was two different debates, which was really, really amazing. The first night was Warren and your boy. Hey, what are we talking about? He
outrageous.
Yeah, he and Warren was against everybody else, but they was hitting them motherfuckers like it wasn't shit. And the guy, he even told one of the guys, "What are you talking about? I made the damn thing." And the guy was like, "Oh shit!" He looked at him like, "Damn, this nigga crazy. This old man gonna jump on me and shit." But he was going hard on him. You know what I mean? And that was a good thing for him because he was so kind of complacent the last time and kind of be really political. But he was going hard. And Warren, she just jumped in and was like, "No, I can't keep quiet. I'm going to defend everything that I say." And she was getting even aggressive. And people start saying, "Wow, this chick, she kind of has it." So she showed up really well. Yeah. So she showed up really, really well.
I don't know. I loved Kamala in the first debate.
Yeah.
The second one.
No, that's the second night though. Let's finish the first night. Did you see the first night?
Okay. Well,
with Bernie and no, she was with the second one again.
With Biden and them.
Yeah, with Biden and the crew.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I'm just talking about with Kamala.
Okay. So just go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Well, all right. So when I watched her in the second round, I'll just say that, right? So I felt like she was. I think she came off as she was feisty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She was attentive. So whenever they said something, she responded directly. She was defensive too.
Yep.
But I don't know if she was,
effective?
Offensive. What I mean by that is I don't think she was like really providing information for me to be like, oh, like, yeah, that is a great idea. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like the ideas were like we were moving forward.
Was she effective though?
Was she effective? I mean, she came off as strong. Okay. What I'm trying to get at is with her, like, because I liked her like as the top candidate. I felt like what she was missing.
Expectations, though. It sounds like
this is my president. I'm trying to pick who I like. You know what I mean? And I felt like she was strong. She had everything. She was feisty. You know what I mean? I'm like, great. All right, now, do you have any charismatic like you had in the first one? Can you? I don't know. I felt like she wasn't really connecting. She was just so drawn in and I'm just going to tell you what's on this sheet of paper on my plan, and your plan isn't as good as mine. I'm going to tell you why. It wasn't like she didn't take a step back. It was like, I didn't get like when Bernie would make a joke or there was no kind of like reset on, like the first one, she was like, okay, I feel like I'm the only black person here. I can kind of speak to this kind of thing. It was just healthcare. And then they were attacking Obama's plan, and she kept going after Biden, and then it was just kind of like it was a debate, which is what a debate's supposed to be, right? So
Right.
I don't know. I felt like that she didn't win that night. I know that. I feel like Bernie, Warren, and maybe Pete. I don't know, but Pete's not going to win.
Booker did really well for himself.
He did, but I don't know.
Nah, I don't feel him, but he did well.
He's not gonna win. Booker's gonna end up being like the HUD guy, HUD or transportation or some shit like that.
He said the HUD guy.
Yeah, he probably killed that shit.
Well, we said that he's like that team that always makes the playoffs, but you know he ain't gonna win no championship.
He ain't gonna win that. But you're glad that he showed up. He's
always
there.
gonna win.
Like you look for him to suit up. Like okay,
he was like,
Pacers baby, round 1. You're gonna get swept, but
man, could they win one more and then leave? Damn. So this is my thought on it, and I looked at it twice because my wife was like, "You missed something." So she's all about being a prosecutor. So her effort is always to attack one person because there's one person on trial, and that's who you attack.
Biden.
Yes. So this is what happened. The other lady from Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard, I think her name is.
No.
No.
You're talking about it's Tootie.
Tulsi. Her name is Tulsi Gabbard. Because I'm following her now. Because I like the way she's ex-military.
Yeah.
So she turned around and blindsided her while she was attacking Biden and hit her. And soon as she hit her, it was like, wait a minute, your policies, you talking, and it threw her game all the way off. And you can see in her face, she couldn't say anything else. On everything else, she just felt defensive about. And she lost everybody. Because she couldn't get involved. She couldn't go back on an attack because she felt if I attack, they're going to come after me. Wow, somebody's going to come after me. She's an attack person because she thinks of things as a prosecutor and said, there's one person I go after. She's not taking care of her peripherals. Where Tulsi was like, I'm a professional. I got this. I'll hit at you, and I hit at you, and I made my point. Now, you need to shut up trying to go after Biden, and you need to check yourself. And she was kind of like, and you could see her with the black woman like, bitch, you don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. And I was like, wow.
I like, I saw Tulsi Gabbard on C-SPAN of all place. Like they was doing like something in Iowa, for the primaries, and each candidate got on stage and did their thing, and she had like she made sense, and I was like, she's not old, so it's not like you don't feel like she's just been around too long and part of the old guard,
right?
So it's just
she's good, and she has a military background. We were talking to say she would be a great Secretary of Defense, and it would be fantastic to see a female Secretary of Defense to say, "Nah, we stopping all of this bullshit because we shouldn't be going to certain wars." And because they was like, what was it? It was a portion when they said, well, Biden, you voted for the war, and that was why would you vote for the war? And he was trying to tell them, hey, wait a minute, we were lied to. I don't care. You should have known. And she jumped in and said, well, I was a soldier during that time, and they lied to me, but I was a soldier, so I went because I thought that was the right thing to do. But after I got in and I see it was wrong, that's when I recognized that this was a false war that I was in. But you go in dedicated to take care of your country. That's what you do with the information you got. And that conversation ended right there. Exactly. And I was like, wow, I likes this girl. She's straight. Yeah. So
like no chaser.
Yeah. But again, that one, a lot of them was talking about how bad he made bad choices for Obamacare and all of that. And it turned around to say that Obama had some bad policies. And it was like, yo, dude, it's not Obama's policies that you should be fighting with. It's the policies that they're trying to take away as opposed to the policy that they had no choice when they had with the Republicans.
That sounds like an L right there.
It was.
Like if I'm a Republican, I'm like, oh, perfect. Infighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
They loved it.
That was the saying. At the end of the day, when they were doing recaps, it was the Democrats all talking about Obamacare, trying destroy it for some reason.
Yep.
And it's like, why are we talking about that when there's all this other shit going on
just
that Trump's doing?
Dumbasses.
Yeah. But part of the problem too was Biden kept bringing it up too, and he kept bringing up Obama's name.
You know what? Can we talk about Biden?
Yeah,
sure can.
I think it might be. You might have to just bow out.
Yeah,
you don't got the juice, bro.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Like when he saw the thing about like they're not as bright as white kids, something like that.
Yeah.
What was the line?
I can't even paraphrase it, dude.
It was just like, bro, what?
He said poor kids are just
poor
as bright
kids
as white kids.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, and it was just like, oh, that's a gaffe. And then
he had to, walk that back.
And then the Latino shit, yesterday, it was just, and then that kind of performance and like you're trying to bring up Obamacare in this way, but the risk is if people try to go at it, now you're stuck in that way, and it's like it's just. I feel like he's been around too long and too savvy to fall in those kind of rookie mistakes. You know what I mean?
But he hasn't been in the game for a minute. So this is him getting his legs back. And think about his gaffes as opposed to the president's gaffes. Well, not his gaffes, his lies.
That's very fair. But, so it's kind of like, is the standard just lower permanently?
Yep. Well, not permanently. I don't think it's permanently, but I think to a certain point, that if you align them both together, would you rather have a gaffe or a lie?
You know what? It's like, like a movie where it's like there's a villain and you got to make a deal with someone who's bad just to defeat the villain. It's like one of those situations.
Yep. And that's the villain.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the age. So Biden is 76.
Right.
Bernie Sanders is 77.
Damn.
Y'all know how old Warren is?
67, I think.
70 years old.
Damn.
I didn't realize how old they all were.
So the top of the damn thing is 70 and above.
Yeah.
Well, wow. I'll give Bernie credit for like that motherfucker has like that energy.
Yeah.
And so does that Warren,
Yeah, Warren too. But Warren looks better. She
does.
Oh, something about old dudes in politics. They look like a mess. So Warren is aging gracefully. But
I thought Warren was like 60.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I thought she was in her 60s, but
old men in politics, like that's one of the things I think about. Like, this is like real petty, but I'm so tired of ugly people in politics because it's like they got the nerve to get on TV talking mess, and it's like get your ugly ass. Like, I gotta look at this shit. And it's just, and the Republicans are really bad. And I'm like, I'm to the point now. Like,
I know. It's like the slap them in the face type shit,
Yeah, we need to let's ban up. Like, you know what? Even in America, in the whole America, if you ugly, you can't vote.
Damn.
No, you can't run for politics.
You can't run. You can vote because you go behind a curtain, nobody can see you.
Nah, because you know what I was thinking about. You know what I was thinking about with New Jersey, right?
What's that?
You gotta make New Jersey like 3/5 vote of regular votes. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. You got a black vote state and shit.
3/5 of a state. Jersey, man.
Damn, man, what's going on there?
No,
I don't even claim Jersey. I'm
telling you, that's what New Yorkers say. Right now. They said, what's the best thing about New Jersey compared to New York? And they said a southern border.
Like, I mean, we can go by this, like all the worst state, like Mississippi. They get one vote per regular vote. Like they get 1/5 the vote. We might have to get rid of Oklahoma. I don't know what's up with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the tornadoes is taking care of them. Don't worry about them.
They get like 1/5 the vote. You know what I'm saying?
So I think we need to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to get back into the states because certain states are having a lot of issues, and one in particular. So stay tuned.